All right, on to Genesis chapter 23. It's almost bedtime, as you can tell by my eyes. I'm very self conscious about my eyes these days, just because of my sleep schedule. It's all over the place, and I got to get back on track. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon right now, and I work tonight at 10:30, so I'm gonna sleep from about 2:45 to 9:35 ish. Get some solid sleep in there. Hopefully, I sleep the whole time, and feel good for work. So let's do this. Genesis chapter 23. We just finished 22, where it talked about Nahor and Abraham and all those people, and Nahor had eight sons, which is a lot of sons. So I always wonder, like, looking in the Bible, trying to find someone that matches who I am. So we'll see if I ever find that in the Bible, or if there's actually no one. So just a curious creature on that. But chapter 23, the burial of Sarah. When Sarah was 127 years old, young, as in Bible times, she died at Kiriath Arba, now called Hebron, in the land of Canaan. Then Abraham mourned and wept for her. Then leaving her body, he went to the Hittite elders and said, "Here I am, a stranger in a foreign land with no place to bury my wife. Please let me have a piece of land for a burial plot." The Hittites replied to Abraham, "Certainly, for you are an honored prince among us. It will be a privilege to have you choose the finest of our tombs, so you can bury her there." Then Abraham bowed low before them and said, "Since this is how you feel, be so kind as to ask Ephron, son of Zohar, to let me have the cave of Machpelah, down at the end of his field. I want to pay the full price, of course, whatever is publicly agreed upon, so I may have a permanent burial place for my family." Ephron was sitting there among the elders, and he answered Abraham as the others listened, speaking publicly before all the elders of the town. "No, sir," he said to Abraham, "please listen to me. I will give you the cave and the field, here in the presence of my people. I give it to you. Go and bury your dead." Abraham bowed again to the people of the land, and he replied to Ephron, as everyone returned. "No, listen to me," he insisted. I will buy it from you. Let me pay the full price for the field, so I can bury my dead there." Well, Ephron answered, "The land is worth 400 pieces of silver, but that is between friends. Go ahead and bury your dead." So Abraham paid Ephron the amount he had suggested, 400 pieces of silver, as was publicly agreed. He bought the plot of land belonging to Ephron at Machpelah near Mamre. You see what happened there? He didn't want to owe anybody anything. And he didn't want to come back to him, like if there's war or something like that. This is my own thoughts. If there was war or whatnot, he didn't want to come back and be like, "Hey, we gave you this land, help us out," things like that. So he owes them nothing now. He paid full price for the land, for the burial plot, and he's solid. And that's the way we need to be. Don't owe anybody anything, you know. If someone offers you something, like at a super discounted rate, think twice about that, you know. I always do. I don't hate owing anybody anything. That bothers me. And I kind of did that recently, and I kind of know how to manage it in my mind. But in the grand scheme of things, I broke a rule I had for myself. But in the grand scheme of things, don't owe anybody anything, and you'll feel much better about things. At the end of the day, you can just go and be done. So, and I noticed about this is like they're not having a big funeral, or maybe they are. I haven't finished this chapter. But Abraham's burying his wife. But it doesn't say everyone's around. So he may be the only one around doing this. We have these big funerals where everyone comes and everything like that to celebrate the life, which is interesting to me because we need to be grinding and keep on grinding in life and not worry about who's dead and who's alive. And maybe that's a weird take in general, but if you think about that, don't we need to just keep living, and whoever's the closest to that person who's dead needs to bury them? I don't know how that works. I don't know what God wants. I don't know. So let's finish this chapter. So Abraham paid Ephron the amount he suggested, 400 pieces of silver, as was publicly agreed. He bought the plot of land belonging to Ephron at Machpelah near Mamre. This included the field, the cave that was in it, and all the trees nearby. They became Abraham's permanent possession by the agreement made in the presence of the Hittite elders at the city gate. So Abraham buried Sarah there in Canaan in the cave of Machpelah near Mamre, which is at Hebron. The field at the cave were sold to Abraham by the Hittites as a permanent burial place. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. My phone is at 5%, so it got really dark. So I apologize for that if that happened on your end. But there it was. He buried her there. Doesn't talk about other people around, anything like that. He just went and buried her, and that was that. And of course, it might be a shortened story, like a lot of the Bible stories. So there may have been a bunch of people there. But there you go. Don't owe anybody anything, Pay what you think is fair and go about your business. All right, have a good one.